Yeah, the invasion. Yeah, well, I remember working with dear Dougie Camfield, who was always a lovely director, quite dour, but he would let you put comedy in. Derek Martinez was another director that, wouldn't put his arm around you and say, "Have you heard one about the two nuns in the pub with the Alsatian dog?" But they would let you. They knew at rehearsals, if you were giggling, they knew that get the giggles out in rehearsals, because if you try and do it serious all week, by the time you get to the studio, yes, that's when you get the giggles. And then the tape's running, it's costing money. He knew if we fooled around at rehearsals, we would do it on the night. But it was that thing in the invasion where Patrick and I were walking down the street in his car, and I just said, "Dougie, can we do one of those kind of cartoon runs?" Is that even? I said, "Well, we start to walk, then we walk a bit fast, and in the end, and we're running the arch back, like the road runner." He said, "Yeah, okay, we'll do that." And that's how we. And then when we get cornered, Patrick said, "I think I did. Go back," and he start to play cards, And Dougie, "Yeah, what would you do?" Patrick's his pockets. That doctor, if you brought a rope ladder out, you could.
It's just
AK-47. Yeah, you could believe.
It swings around that story. It's very dark. There's people running around with guns. There's people getting shot in it. And then there's these great moments between you and Patrick, the little comedy bits which you've come up with, which obviously weren't on the script written. And it just makes it so. And the scenes between Patrick and the baddie of the piece,
Kevin Stoney,
they just work.
Yes, marvellous.
And I think the way Douglas Camfield shot that story, you can watch it now, and it's shot as well as anything that's shot well now.
It is. And I was saying in the talk on the stage, sure you can look at it now and go, "Oh, those levers are dreadful." You can tell they're ping pong balls and things. But that's what the guys had to use at the time. They didn't have CGI. They were given a box of ping pong balls, elastic bands and stuff, and sprayed silver. That's what and when you think that's the tools that they were given, they did marvelous jobs building sets. And that the invasion, when the thing slides back, you see that kind of cyber leader, whatever. Fantastic swinging around, and in the Mind Robber, that lovely thing at the back, changing, fantastic, But that's what I remember, and of course, seeing John Levine's face for the first time, because up until then he'd been a Yeti, John Levine. Then we saw Benton when he got out of the Jaguar car.
I'd forgotten he was in it. I was watching it yesterday. Oh, of course, John Levine.
John Levine was the unit guy, and of course, meeting Nick Courtney again, it was fantastic, lovely. But that was that was it.
Not wanting to change the tack too much, but when you were upstairs talking to everyone, thank you for not walking away from this just yet. But you were talking about your recent health issues.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, between us, we've got about 10,000 listeners. Is there any? And it was a very positive message you were giving out, and I'm thinking that a lot of people listening now might want to hear something. About that.
Well, I said earlier, I had bowel cancer about 12 years ago. It'd gone through the bowel wall, so I had to have chemotherapy, and I was about to start pantomime. And I was told by my oncologist, "No, you'll be tired. You have a cannula in your arm." And I asked the producer of the panto, it was a pal of mine, Christopher Marino, "What shall I do?" And he said, "Well, do the panto. And if you collapse, if you get tired, I'll just go on with the script and play your part." And so I had chemotherapy in the morning, do the matinee, do the evening panto, go home, drive to Nottingham, chemotherapy in the morning, afternoon show. I was doing that for about 5 weeks, and my hair actually grew during the pantomime. But I didn't tell anybody I was having chemo, because I didn't want to be treated differently, like, don't do the so-and-so speech and we'll cut you from that tap dance. I just want to be treated normally. And I've still got the box of pills sealed, because I never felt nauseous. And I try and get this message across to people: if you've got bowel cancer, don't listen to the word chemotherapy as bad. I had chemotherapy, and that's being pumped into you, and that's killing the bad guys inside you. The chemotherapy, people think, oh, sword of Damocles, chemotherapy, I'm going to die. No, that's actually, and myself and Mr. Whittaker, we used to laugh, you know, in the morning, we'd go into the oncology unit, little room, and go, hello, Tonto, hello, chemotherapy. You know, with all the, and two of the patients complained to the nurse, and the sister said, no, I wish you had Mr. Hines' and Mr. Whittaker's outlook in life. That's the way to treat chemotherapy. Don't think, think that. And I'm trying to get with bowel cancer charity, to help them out. And I've made up this slogan, if you feel anything wrong with your insides or you see something in the loo that you don't like, don't be embarrassed. I just say, my saying is, would you rather a doctor took your trousers off once or an undertaker take them off forever?
Well, thanks for being
on that note, yes.
Thanks for being able to talk so openly about it, because a lot of people.
But when I went public with it,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't for the first 5 years, because the first 5 years there was the worst, And also, I had to keep it quiet after that, because you can't do television or film, because it says if you've got this, and if you start a TV series and then they can sue the pants off you. Whereas a theatre's different, because you've got an understudy. So if you break your leg, if you a theatre, you've always got an understudy. But with films or TV, the TV company, and nowadays, as I say, you have to tick, have you got cancer? Have you done this? Have you, all these things, because they've got to cover their ass, so to speak.
Actually, no, we're ending on a positive note.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's not just the down. So thank you very much for
No,
talking.
pleasure.
Unless anyone else has got any questions?
No.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, thank you.